everybody, welcome back to Dungeon of the Mad Mage. This is session 50, and even though my players try, they will not break me. Yet.
Oh,
maybe.
give us time.
Give us
Give
time.
us time.
It's
Need a little more of
inevitable,
this.
really, honestly. So, alright! It has been a little while since we have played some D&D, so let's go ahead and jump into things with a little bit of a recap. So, do you guys... We'll cover that later. Previously, in the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, the party, set on making their way to Skullport, purchased blankets and hides from traders at Azraq's Hold as potential protection against the acid rain in Steamfall Pass. This proved to be a good move, as during their journey through the rocky, dangerous tunnels, they were indeed subjected to the hazard. Fortunately, as the heavy black rain began to rush down upon them, Ezrah was able to tap into his abilities and dissipate the majority of the downpour. This, along with the aid of the coverings they had purchased previously, allowed the party to pass, not uninjured, but alive. Their journey brought them to the outskirts of the dark and brooding Port of Shadows. Their first destination was to be the Flagon and the Dragon, to finish a quest given to them by Three Strings, what seems like ages ago. The party sought directions at a dwarven smithy, had an encounter with a senile flame skull, met more lycanthropes, and finally made their way to their destination, the Flagon and the Dragon. Now, that is a very brief recap, because our session last week was a very brief session. Does anyone need any more information, or does everyone feel solid? Do we need a bit of a recap from the previous one, or are we good?
Yeah, probably pretty good.
Good? Okay. So, I'm gonna drop you off in the map. We're gonna swap some music. Goes.
What? No. It's like I'm coming this close to like picking a line, just to
I
quote
moved
it.
on. Is Jay still living in the past?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Something
All right.
about mates.
Has everyone found themselves?
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah.
I know, I'm still looking.
Has anybody ever really found themselves?
All right.
I'm still looking, Jeremy. Why do you have to keep bringing it up?
Okay.
You
Calm
found
down.
yourself before me.
Can't zoom in without completely losing.
Why is she in the center of 4 squares? I don't like it, Jeremy. My OCD is not friendly.
She's fucking
really?
big. Don't worry
You
about
like
it.
that? Well, we better not have that happen.
There. Jeez. All right. So, to kind of reiterate, right? As you all walk into this building, you find a cozy tavern with a small bar, a handful of tables, and even a tiny stage in the far corner. All around the place are trinkets, placards, and other memorabilia, mostly depicting dragons. There are a few patrons milling about, sipping on drinks. They kind of like look over their shoulders as you come in, but none of them linger their gaze on you overly long. And the individual that immediately draws your attention is the bartender. He is tall. Who's the tallest one of you?
Well,
Matches,
it
I
might-
think.
it's between me and Matt. I've never really gotten a.
How tall are you two?
I think I'm like 6'1".
According
Like
to
6'1"?
my bio page, I am 6'8".
Oh, damn.
6'6".
I'm sorry, I'm
boy.
6'2".
Sorry, guys.
Bones, you're
I'm-
6'6"?
I mean,
I've got you with my 5'5".
Good.
Lanky.
Fucking Bones is just like, he's like a troll from WoW. He just like, that's terrifying. Lanky ass cat boy.
6'6", baby.
Damn.
I am just a
I didn't even know
midget
Tabaxi
in
could
a
get
realm
that big.
of giants.
I think that's actually the median.
He is a lion Tabaxi too, so I mean he a big cat.
All right.
Apparently that's not
Like, I
the-
agree that's flavor wise, but there isn't a differentiator in Tabaxi.
Hey, you don't know that. You don't know that.
Except I do.
I, this is my Faerun. Fuck you. Get out of here. Anyways, she's tall, though not as tall as Bones or Ashes. She's about Matashtai's height, right? She has a slender, lithe figure. She has one side, the left side of her head, shaved, right, and the top and right is braided back in cornrows. She has this kind of cross between silverish white hair, right? She's obsidian skinned, some sort of drow lineage, and she's in leather armor. She's behind a countertop, right? She's at a bar, but she's in full leathers. She's got a scimitar strapped to her side. She looks ready and capable of defending herself. And this, I think I said this last time at the very end, right? You have all kind of like come to this realization that every single person that you have seen in Skullport is armed and armored, right?
Mhm.
This is not a place for the meek necessarily. So as you step in and you kind of take this all in, she looks across at you and she says, "Ah, newcomers. Very nice. Welcome to the Flagon and the Dragon." And
You
she
got any
hitches
dragon?
her thumb behind her to the shelves behind her. She says, "What's your poison?"
Dragon, please. I'll have one dragon.
So she actually says,
Preferably a large tooth, or I don't know, maybe the rib cage. The rib cage would be cool.
she says, well, we don't exactly sell parts here, but I do have some secreted away wine that's of a dragon's fare. Otherwise, we've got amberjack and goat's head ale.
Oh,
To know my enemy, I must drink what my enemy drinks. I will have that.
Which one? Both?
The dragon wine, please.
The dragon wine will cost you. I mean, granted, it'll all cost you, but that's not something I typically break out. It's a bit on the pricier side.
I'm committed to this bit now. So how much?
She'll say, well, if I'm going to open the bottle, it's gonna get drunk, so 10 gold. Up front.
Don't get drank.
Please open the bottle, and I pay her 10 gold.
She kind of like turns her head, right? And
We're
she
gonna get
nods, and
jumped.
she
We're gonna
says,
get fucking jumped.
all right then, well, give me just a moment. And you actually see she kind of like steps down, and she doesn't disappear completely out of you, but you see she steps down into a depression, and there's some sort of like half cellar or something like that she has access to on the corner of the bar. So she steps down and she disappears under the countertop, but you can kind of see her head just over it. And she's back in just a few moments. And she kind of like pulls out this very old, unlabeled bottle, and it's dusty. Kind of like blows it off and pops it down onto the countertop, and she says, "Ah, it's aged, but the last bottle I had was quite good, so I would
Now
assume."
tell me, what makes this dragon wine? Is it distilled with dragon parts or made by a dragon? Do dragons enjoy drinking it?
You know, I'm not entirely sure what the
And if
parameters
so, which
are.
color prefers it the most?
See, I came across these bottles by my friend Felrax. He's dragonborn, And I believe he obtained them through an associate of his, a winemaker. I don't know the exact parameters, but could potentially find out. All I know is that it is delicious and burns on the other side.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm a cat.
Okay. She'll take your 10 gold and pour you a drink.
Technically, it's one plat. Is one plat okay?
Yeah, she doesn't bat an eyelash at it.
Oh, we getting jumped.
But she says, like, she takes it, and she doesn't, like, there's not like a cash register or anything like that. She takes your coin, slides it off the countertop, and pockets it into a small pouch inside her tunic. Right?
Okay.
And then she pours you the drink. You have a taste?
Yes, I drank it.
It is very fruity, right?
I do that thing where cats open their mouth and they sniff on it.
It's extremely spicy. Like it's not a realistically, it's not a pleasant wine. And it, as you sniff it, right? It's got a very high alcohol content to it.
Nice. Blood of my enemy.
So it doesn't smell or taste like a typical normal wine would. It's heavily spiced and it's overly alcoholic, and it's super super sweet. You imagine that it probably, as she said, comes out fire the other side.
So are we talking like similar to like Goldschlagers or your Fireball with like some fruit in there?
Probably more along the lines of yeah, something along those types of lines, but fruitier, basically. After that, immediately after she pours the drink, she kind of like looks at the rest of you and she says, she kind of like hitches her fingers and says, anything I can get you?
I'm good.
Sorry.
Hey, you guys want a cup? You guys want some?
Did we get your name? I'm Ezrah, by the way.
Ezrah.
Ashes.
Ashes.
I'm Matt.
Hey, Matt. No, you can't have my name. But welcome to my bar. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You can have my name. Though I feel as if perhaps you're looking for someone.
Few people actually.
My name is Kalal Kladani. I own and operate the Flagon and the Dragon.
That is what I expected.
Hey! As if the stars have aligned.
And she kind of like looks and she says, yes, I assumed as much when you started asking.
So I approach the bar.
You watch her hand strays down to the hilt of her scimitar.
You know, it's just as if there's any more
And
sign
it's very just like casual, very comfortable. Like she doesn't change her posture. She's just kind of leaning to the side. It's just that hand drifts down and rests on the hilt of the scimitar.
And I'm well, I don't need a weapon, so I suppose that isn't. And she probably can read
His
it.
hands are fucking registered.
But I reach into my belt, pull out a satchel of things that were told to be delivered, set them on the bar, step back. Are there people watching this interaction as after I set it down, step back, I kind of do a glance around, just seeing what's going on?
There are some other people in the bar. There's Smurf Neblin, a Dwargar, 2 humans, but they're all three of them, the two humans and the Dwargar, are over at one table playing a game of cards and just drinking. And they're not raucous or anything like that, but they're chatting and talking amongst themselves. They're not being like super loud, but they seem comfortable here. They seem as if they're acclimated to this environment. The Smurfneblin is a little shadier, right? He's got this hood kind of drawn up, but not so much that it obscures his features. But he's not like staring or making eyes at anyone. He's kind of like he's got a book in front of him, like a small, not like a big book, but like a small pocket book in front of him, and he looks like he's like making little notes. But he's not really like looking up and then like jotting down, or looking up and jotting down. He's just like consistently writing, and then he'll like take a drink and then keep writing, etc.
Okay. As I look around and notice he's probably the one that could be paying attention the most,
Sure.
I'm going to position my body so my back is more to him.
Sure.
And as she looks at the pouch, or if she just stares at it or whatever, I'll be like,
yeah, she kind of gives that like looks at the pouch. She doesn't move towards it or anything like that.
A friend of mine asked that a debt be paid, and I'm going to kind of like scratch at my chest, and as I do, I'm going to show on the inside of my lapel is my Harper
Okay.
emblem. And
So roll me a sleight of hand with advantage.
She's gonna take your hand.
Take your hand. 12. Okay, so you do a decent job of like this is not subterfuge isn't exactly like a skill that Ezra practices frequently, but it's a casual enough motion that you're able to kind of like flash the pin. You're angled away. It seems as though unless someone was really trying to like spy upon you all, your measure is probably good enough, right? And Kalal kind of like clucks her tongue a little bit as she sees, and she kind of like turns and looks, and she kind of like walks over a step or two towards the south side of the bar, and she kind of like positions something. She takes like one of the bottles on the shelves and just like slightly readjusts it, and then she stretches, and as she does, she pulls her collar aside a little bit, and you see a Harper pen on the inside.
nice.
And then she kind of like steps back and she goes, "Oh, well, this is very interesting. What was that about drinks for the rest of you?" And as she says that, she leans forward, right next to the pouch, and in one quick motion, she sweeps the pouch off and down behind the bar in front of her. And then she's just leaning kind of like on the bar. She doesn't say anything about the pouch. She doesn't like look into it or anything like that.
Just a ale for me, thank you.
I don't drink on the job.
On the job? Well, what job are you on at the moment? Seems to me as if you finished a job, so now you're off. Time for a drink. And she says that as she kind of like spins around and like walks over to a tap, and she like gets a tankard and starts to pour out an ale. And it looks like a thick foamy substance. She comes back, slides it over to you, Ezra, tells you it's 4 shards for a flagon.
I'll put 5 on the table, or on the bar.
Ah.
I'll take a drink as well.
Amberjack or ale?
Amberjack.
She kind of nods, moves over, and so the Amberjack she actually pours from bottles, right? And she brings it over. She doesn't pour that into a tankard. She actually pulls aside some glasses. The same thing that she filled Bones's wine up in. So they're these kind of like thick crystalline glasses, right? Not really dainty or anything like that. But she brings one over and pours the Amberjack in front of you. And it is 8 shards. Glass.
Okay. I hand over 8 shards.
Yep.
With 2 extra for a tip.
Oh, shit.
Bow.
Okay, cool. She gives these long eyes at Ashes, and she says, "Don't be the only one sitting out, honey."
Sorry.
Yeah,
I
honey. Why
I
don't you
don't
drink with
drink.
us?
Fine. Anyways, by the way, the Amberjack is a sherry as you actually start drinking.
Oh, cool.
Why do
Perhaps
kids
you
enjoy
could give us direction to Delagor's fortress. We do intend to pay Felrax a visit.
She kind of like she worries her lip a little bit, right? She like takes it in her teeth and like rolls it back and forth for a second. Says, "Well, with the intent with which you speak those names, it seems you're well informed. So I can assume your contact." And she's kind of speaking in a low voice, right? But she's not speaking so low that
I'm
that
not
the other people can't hear.
broadcasting
It seems as the way she's talking, she's being cautious, but the way she's talking and the way she's looking around, she doesn't seem to. She doesn't give off the impression that she is worried or suspicious about any of the people that are currently here. Yeah, but she just has that kind of cautious nature about her. So she says, "How is Old Strings?"
Actually, I've had the opportunity to speak with them on a pretty frequent basis lately. He's good. He's doing good.
Good to hear. So, you wish to seek out Dalgos? Yes, I can give you directions. Is this your only business in the city?
It is not.
Actually, we are looking for somebody. Trail's probably very cold, as they haven't been seen here for a few weeks, but we're looking for a dwarf by the name of Droon Stonedark.
Technically, we don't know that they haven't been seen here for a few weeks. We just know that he came here.
Yeah, he came through.
The name doesn't ring a bell, but, well, a dwarf, you say?
Right.
Was he Dwargar or was he a dwarf?
I think they were Dorgars.
Were they Dorgar?
I thought
I
so too.
believe they were.
Party knowledge.
I am 90% sure they were Dwargar. Party knowledge. they were Dwargar that stole the
Sword of
dagger
Omens.
of sightseeing or whatever.
The Sword of
Sword of-
Omens, correct.
Sword of Omens. Give me sight
Give me
beyond
sight
sight.
Thunder!
Thunder.
Just one thunder.
Thunder.
Single thunder.
I'm not trying to transform. I'm just trying to get a little power. Just a little.
Just a little power. Just a little power. So okay, so you say that? You talk to her
Mhm.
about that?
I will pivot the request
No, you say that though.
You say
from
that?
dwarf to Dwargar.
Well, Grey Dwarf. It's
Oh, that's a
You
little
were not wrong.
supernatural.
Right. Trying to think. I'm trying to verify names for you real quick. What did you say the person's name that you were looking for was?
Droon Stonedark.
Aha.
Is it Droon? I gotta go back in my notes and make sure. Droon Stonedark, yep.
Sounds right.
Sorry, I gotta read this real quick. Gotta
No, take your time.
verify.
Whores in the house.
I let him get a taste. Now he's got diabetes.
No, stop. Pause. Freeze. Done.
What?
I don't know what you're referring to, Jacob.
Do you remember exactly how you got that name?
Yeah, what's her face told us, and I assume it's on the registration paperwork. I don't actually know. I know that we got the registration paperwork before we left.
Okay.
Grizel, what's her name? Griselda?
Lurkana.
Is-
Lurkana.
Griselda? No, that's not her
It's so
Griselda.
far off. Oh
It's-
my
I don't-
god.
Yikes.
Yeah, that one was not close. Usually I get a little close. That was not close.
That's a big yikes for me, dog.
like orc and hobgoblin.
Did she tell you that that was the person you were looking for, or that that was a person to look up?
My quest tracker is a little too terse.
I thought she said this bro took it.
Okay, so
I think she said that after
They
they
don't
left,
know.
it was missing or some shit.
So let's. I might have given misinformation. I might have, or I might have given correct information, and we might have just like poorly noted it, or what. I don't know. So let's. This is a clarifying moment. Okay.
Okay.
So Lurkana would have told you, that the Dwargar that came through were Clan Iron Eye. Okay? And she would have let you see their paperwork, and you would have had a whole host of names, right?
Oh.
Okay? However, I think how you were supposed to have gotten the name Droon Stonedark is that Lurkana probably would have told you to look him up in Skullport as a potential person to ask about Clan Iron Eye.
I thought he was the leader, the
Okay.
ringmaster.
I can see
Yeah,
where
I thought he was
disconnect
the thief.
was.
No,
It's a good thing you clarified that's where we just straight killed him.
Droon Stonedark is not the leader of Clan Iron Eye. No. So,
If anything,
Let me
he's a part of Clan
update those
Stonedark.
notes then.
okay. That's why I got a little like I was like, wait, why are they? Oh, and I was like, why would? Okay. So, so
And
you kind of like
Iron Eye.
Clan Iron Eye.
Because
Yeah.
we're smart and intelligent individuals.
So like you kind of like pass that information along to Kalal, right? And she says, so retroactively, right? You ask about Droon, and she says, he will say, "Oh, Stonedark, yeah. Well, I can definitely get you to him. Not sure you'll enjoy the interaction, but Droon runs the Black Tankard on the west side of the city. It's
Oh,
not exactly a nice place, but well, it caters to a bit of a rougher crowd, and this time she kind of does go silent, and she kind of like looks around. She says, "It caters to the guild."
I'm a part of a guild.
Oh, I don't think you're a part of this one. You don't strike me as the sort to take stupid suicidal orders.
I'm
Don't
sorry.
do stupid stuff.
Which guild are we talking about?
She didn't say anything, but she traces her finger in a circle on the countertop. and then like draws little lines out from the circle. And she does kind of like does it in moisture, right? So it kind of like holds for a second before it kind of like ripples away.
It's like Voldemort. You're not supposed to say his name.
I mean, that's not inaccurate, especially if they're nearly complete.
Not inaccurate.
His name is in the guild.
She says,
That's why you don't say it.
she says,
The fuck?
over the last couple of years, they've kind of come to dominate. Words. You need to be careful depending on what you're doing. A little too much attention can get full force of the guild brought down on top of you.
We've already gotten probably a little bit closer to that than we should have already.
Well, then I would be doubly careful. Wherever you're from, whatever you've been doing previously, if you've gotten on the guild's bad side, well, it's one thing when you're in the city. It's another thing when you're on his doorstep. He's not opposed to coming outside every week.
Pass.
You don't want to fight a beholder? I want to fight a beholder.
Not at this level, I don't.
Let's say we've already fought a beholder.
My level 10 brawler fighter with dumbass health got dusted
I was
twice
gonna
by
say,
beholders.
Do you need
Ow.
me? Do you need me to disintegrate Jake again? What?
Not gonna lie, it'd be pretty funny.
It's not a need, it is a want from the rest of this group. Me not wanting.
I do desire it quite highly.
Quite fervently.
I have a reputation that I wish to absolve. Thank you very much.
So Kalal continues, and she says, I can get you directions to Dalgar's fortress easily enough. And as long as you stick to them, there should be no... And I'm here to help. Allies in the way of
Yeah.
strings.
Do you have anything of note that you could use aid in while we are here?
Oh, well. I mean, overthrow a tyrannical guild, displace,
heard.
Couple hundred bad guys, clear out the riffraff, fix the river entrances again, get trade flowing back into the port. Yeah, I mean, I'd take plenty of things. I'm not sure that's what you're asking to deliver, though.
I mean,
I have
specifics.
no immediate needs, but I'll keep it in mind.
I do think
The same though
that-
goes back to you. The Harpers take care of this.
Indeed. And I do believe we intend to make our presence more frequent in coming days. We have some things to deal with topside in the coming days, but after that, we intend to delve deeper into Undermountain, and I imagine this will be a potential harbor.
Nice holdover, if you will.
Both
Interesting,
potential and
interesting.
literal.
Coast Queen.
How exactly are you planning on coming and going?
Walking mostly.
There are portals, there are rivers, there are
Portals.
feet.
Well, it might not be to your taste,
I do have pretty bland taste, so.
but should
That's fair.
you require it, I may know of someone who can get you out of Skullport fast.
By out of Skullport, do you know what the arrival destination is in said that was very vague, and I
I've
am
never
paranoid.
been there myself, but I've been told it's an orphanage in the South Ward.
Oh, you mean
I mean,
Wow.
out.
Gotcha. I mean,
Now, granted,
information is my
it's
thing,
not for
so-
free, and I'm not
Nothing
sure the price. Well, the price changes from what I've heard, but just
Okay.
information.
I mean, the value in information is always changing too. Is there some sort of a cost that comes with this?
No, they're allies. I share information freely with those who are on the right sides of it. Well, information that is
So, they're
useful
Nazi statement.
and not to be, well, we're friends and allies now, but
I understand your meaning.
I don't trust you yet.
That's fair. We don't trust you either. Just to be
Ah,
fair.
I trust you.
What, you want
I'm-
to go?
I'm wounded. More ale?
I trust they're fine.
I believe that. Yes. I am sipping this fucker, by the way.
She still asks you more ale. She is quite obviously still a bartender, so she tries to push the drinks on you.
No. But yes, if there's information for a alternative route in desperate need that could come of value.
If it comes up, seek out Tasselgrin. North side of the city, mid-level. She runs a shop. Might be a lie, hold on.
Does it fix vacuum cleaners?
No, she runs a shop called the Poison Quill.
And what was her name?
Tasselgrin Beldarn. I'll give you a copy pasta.
I was so bad off.
Yep, never would have gotten that.
Not even close.
And who's this person again? That's the person who runs the other way out?
Well, so Kalal doesn't know a lot of specifics about it, but she basically says if you need an emergency exit from Skullport, right, then look up Tasselgrin. But the cost changes, and it might be steep.
Got it.
Bought it.
And then, so Kalal will give you directions to Dalgor's fortress, where Felrax is. She'll also give you directions to the Black Tankard, where Droon's Stone Dark is. And she asks, is there anything else you're looking for? Particular shops, or ornaments, or bones? Bones.
No, I'm joking. That's me.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then.
Just kidding, that's me.
And
I mean, unless you got a lead on some cool bones.
Well, I don't myself, but there's a pair of brothers, Darum and Durham. They run a salvage, the Sargoth's Bounty. They're probably the closest I would guess that might run across something like that and think it's worthwhile to pick up.
Cool. Yeah.
is there
Ezra, get directions for that too, Ezra.
okay? Along with
Done
that,
and
is there a library or a source of knowledge down here that would
She
be
kind
my
of tuts. She tuts her tongue at you, and she says, Not since the days the Enclave ruled.
I mean, they have to ask.
There are
I don't want-
probably several dozen personal libraries from the few individuals powerful enough to keep them, but something public, something accessible, not that I'm aware of. There is actually, so Tasselgrin runs the Poison Quill, and you can find parchment, associated finery there, but else. Maybe I don't know if it's exactly what you're looking for, but maybe the sword and the sextant. There's a pair of halflings. I don't remember their names, but they run a modest shop. I think it's mostly maps, though.
Ezra, you love maps.
It's true, he does love maps.
They're relatively new in town, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on with
Ezra
them.
also loves new people.
Well, about that. Maps, you were right. New people, yeah.
His favorite thing actually is social interaction. I don't know if you knew that though.
Favorite thing is
That's what he gets out of bed for in the morning.
definitely. So, is there? I think at this point we just have the Dwargar. That is our other point of interest at the moment. I'm assuming we will find many others in our comings and goings, but
There's another one of us here. You should know about Elvira Stoneveins.
Elvira.
Snowveins. Sorry. She runs a curious shop. I'm not sure it would be useful to you, but just in case, Harpers stick together. It also might be worth your time if you're going to be staying in town for a while to keep up appearances. If you plan on heading to the fortress and using it as a safe space, that's all well and good, but people will see you in town. It might be worthwhile to rent a room at the Guts and the Garters, but might not do you any good. If you get tailed, unless you're being careful, they'll definitely find you back to the fortress. Just a bit of subterfuge to consider. It's up to you whether or not you decide to make use of that.
The Guts and the Garters is Elvira's place?
No, Elvira runs a pet shop.
Familiars?
Said that.
I wouldn't call them as such.
Exotic creatures?
She's probably a slaver. I bet she's a slaver.
Probably
Some
talking about human trafficking.
mostly normal creatures, but a couple of odd ones. She likes small animals. I don't.
And
The
what
Guts
is
and
her
the
shop called?
Garters is a local inn. It's run by a man named Quietude.
Quietude?
Yep.
Well,
anything of note with pickups and garters or Quietude himself? Herself? Theirself?
Himself. I'm pretty sure he's in the employ of the guild, but so is 90% of the rest of the town.
As we've heard.
Granted, that employ is as much as it's as more forced than it is chosen. Half the city would turn in an instant for the next strong men to come in.
Ashes is strong.
It's true, Ashes is pretty strong.
Are you
Just like a
disintegrate the
compass?
walls of the city strong?
No.
Maybe.
Have you ever tried?
Not yet.
Well,
I haven't seen him really try.
there's always tomorrow.
Did you give us the pet shop's name? Elvira's lookout?
The pet shop is named the Feathered Rat.
Butts and stuff.
Okay.
There are dozens of other locations that might be of use, but nothing that comes to the top of my mind.
Ezra,
If you find yourself looking for something in particular and you have no luck, seek me out. I'll provide what aid I
Ezra
can.
would probably, if no one else has anything to talk about, would probe her for information of places within and where it is. We don't need to go through that on stream. If you just want to send me some information, that's probably just
About
more curiosity. Shops, places of interest.
What's the
Owners,
layout? Tell me how the air vents are laid out.
Literally, if we're gonna sit here for a couple of hours and no one else is gonna ask her shit, I'm just gonna keep asking her shit until
Are
she.
they big enough for me to drag a body?
what she has told you, what she has told you is what has come to her mind as immediately potentially important. I think another thing she might throw in is she might say, if
How
you're
do you
just
kill a
running low on
nilbog?
supplies, you might seek out Thimblewine's pawn shop. Crystalline runs it now, but basically if you're just looking for basic supplies, she probably has them.
Good to know.
How do you kill a nilbog? That's what I ask you next.
A what?
A nilbog. It's goblin spelled backwards.
How do you kill a goblin spelled backwards? Is this a joke?
Maybe
The
backwards.
same as the way you kill a goblin forwards?
You kill it. You heal it. That's how you kill it.
I don't think so. Maybe you could
Ah.
drop this with the staff.
They're with you, right?
Who?
She kind of she says that to Ezra, because Ezra's the only one who's like flashed a pen. So she's suddenly like,
I'm not a part of his
are
organization.
these some like random schmucks?
Ezra kind of does it.
Eh.
Yeah, he's.
And she kind of like gives you this side glare. She says, "Careful, you won't own up to your allies in polite company. Might not turn out so well in not so polite company."
I'm worried about my friends, okay?
I mean, Bones has a tendency to act on his more natural nature, and it is
What does that mean?
sometimes cause for excitement.
Don't scratch my countertops.
I could just see Bones start tapping the wine bottle close to the
Right?
edge of the table. Don't. Don't do it.
Look straight at Ashes.
She doesn't care. You paid for the bottle of wine.
Yeah, you already paid for it. They don't matter.
Whatever.
She'll have
Fair
to
enough.
clean it up, but whatever.
I really want to kill Evans, guys.
All
I
right,
just can't
so
stop thinking about him.
you just can't stop thinking
can't
about
stop.
it. All right. So you spend
I
a little
actually
bit of
think we should
time.
trap him in the big hole. That's what I really think we should do.
To make another revenant.
Starve him to death.
Jesus. Please no.
That's probably how you kill a fucking Nilbog. I do actually think I want to trap him in the big hole. Just so you guys know. I've been thinking about it.
Bones is going off the deep end, y'all. He needs help.
I mean,
It's just like,
always,
eh,
I don't think we
Either
can
help.
provide the type of help he needs.
That doesn't feel like a new
I mean, this is pretty
situation.
on point.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Okay, so Kalal eventually she'll continue to chat with you all, but she does take drinks to the other patrons, starts cleaning some stuff about her business. And she leaves you with that concept, right, of like Harpers are allies. Aid. Find her. So, party, what are you doing now?
Well,
All
we
right.
probably don't need to go to the safe house since we now have a inn that is probably a better location for us to make our presence. Let's use the safe house when the safe house is needed, not just as our...
Okay.
Yes, no, maybe so. The lack of interest from the rest of the group is concerning.
Alright, I was marking off notes and seeing what we gotta do next.
Oh, sorry. That reminds me. You got give me a quest. You guys have completed a quest.
10,000 experience.
Should we ask about Crescendo as well?
Pay a debt. Everyone gains 750 experience for pay a Harper debt. As well as everyone can add 1 renown to their Harper tracker.
Hell yeah, man.
If you do not have a Harper tracker, you now have 1 on a Harper tracker.
Nice.
When is my next level up with the Harpers?
What are you at?
I'm at 7, I think.
I think it's actually pretty close. But you don't know that. Get out of here.
That is
That's
higher
why
than
I'm asking.
my things combined.
Well, you don't know that. Get out of here.
I've also been working on it since level 1, so...
You don't know that. Get out of here.
Yeah, Mitch.
When you get there, you will be perhaps surprised by getting there. Get out of here.
Yeah, there's no available chart.
I mean, there absolutely is a chart.
There's no chart.
Okay.
Only dead men see a chart.
All right. That is done. Okay. So what else were you guys talking about?
We also had a quest to find Crescendo, some nobleman's brother.
Say that to
Yeah.
Kalal. Says,
Oh, I was gonna say that.
wait, say what?
I was gonna ask
Okay.
Kalal.
So she says, the name sounds vaguely familiar. Yeah, maybe a month or 2 ago? It's been a while. He showed up with a small entourage, making a lot of ruckus. trying to throw his weight as nobility around. I haven't seen him in, well, nearly as long. Last I had heard, I think he headed to Azrock's Hold?
Oh. Funny, we just came from there.
All
Who are
right.
we looking for? Zelnarn? Who is that?
The dude's name is Chrysando. Some noble woman asked us to look for him.
I thought he died. Didn't we take his head? Hand? Signet ring.
Ezvel Rosnar's
Yeah.
brother Crescendo went to Skullport attempting to arrange a meeting with Xanathar. She would like to know where he is.
Oh, do we have the
Don't I have his ring? Isn't his ring right here in my bag?
I
Did
don't
you
know.
get-
It's your bag. Is it in there?
I don't know. I got a ring from fucking from Azrock.
It's just a ring.
Well,
It
that's
was a
probably
signet
it.
ring.
That's probably it then. Because we were supposed to look for his signet ring.
I think it was a signet ring. I didn't note it anywhere, but I recall the interaction.
Until told otherwise, I believe that's the ring.
I don't remember.
Everybody roll me history checks.
Woo!
Oh. Oh.
Fucking smashed it!
Jesus.
Oh,
Ugh.
0. A
That
natural
that
one
tracks
and
for
a 0.
about my actual memory.
Holy shit. Yeah, okay,
I
so,
distinctly recall bartering for it.
to
I just don't
clarify,
know whose it was.
thanks to Ezra's and Ash's memory. Holy shit. To clarify, yes. You guys were given the hand of Chrysando Rosnar, which had the signet ring on it. And you were told that he basically came in trying to, like, cut a slave trading deal with the Legion, and he was a real snooty shit about everything, so they killed him.
Got it. Okay.
He was a real dick about it.
Yeah,
No,
he
I
was
don't- I think during
Also,
that conversation-
history. Also, the lady that came into the bar and was asking around, talking around as you guys were descending this last time was Ezvale Rosnar.
Yeah, I don't remember
The
that.
lady who asked you to look for her brother.
Yeah, well, we looked.
Oh, we gotta turn that quest in. Right, here's the ring. Sorry.
No, let's give her the whole hand.
Dead.
Oh God. It's like the first episode of Attack on Titan when one of the guards just presents like a severed limb to the spouse and be like, "Oh, this is all that's left. Here you go."
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, your brother's a real piece of shit.
All right. Another thing kicked off your list. Another piece of information submitted by Kalal Kladani. What now?
I defer
We
to the
also
group.
then had. Oh wait, no. I think this is the lost level. Is that another level of the dungeon, like a known name for another level?
Are you asking her?
No, I'm asking you because I thought I recall the lost level being like the fourth. No, the fourth is the farm. Is the lost level one we know about?
Probably one that's lost.
If you know about it, you know about it. Otherwise, you do not.
Temple level, tomb levels, first
Hey,
level, arcane
so
level,
Donnie,
second.
y'all know anything about the Lost level?
It doesn't ring a bell. Sounds like it's pretty lost.
Yeah, it's what you get to when you ride the Hail Train all the way to the end.
What's a train?
What was a hell train?
You don't know what a Hell Train is?
I don't know, but it sounds like you could suplex it.
It does. It does sound like that.
My name's Marco Hell Train Johnson.
I do not have lost levels in my dungeon info.
I feel like that had something to do with the dwarf key.
Well, so like specifically my notes say missing
floor?
clanmate, Falk here, dwarf. The lost level, dwarven burial ground. Falk here and his group were looking for it. Garug is the dwarf who requested we look for them.
Okay. Sounds like a bunch of good information. Kalal knows nothing about any of that.
Hey,
Fucking same.
thank you for your time.
And it sounds like what you know about the lost level basically equates to the notes you have jotted down there.
Okay, cool.
So,
Cool.
Now, the Skullport, I'm told, actually covers several levels of Undermountain. Or at least there's access to other levels, is what I'm told.
Yes, I suppose. It kind of depends on your interpretation of that. You can, if you head out to the port, and mind the river, take it south, it'll veer slightly and then begin to loop downwards. So you can potentially ride that down further into Undermountain. Be careful if you're heading out that way. The guild took over Skull Island about 3 years ago. They don't...
Did they kill Kong?
Who?
King
Oh.
Kong, did they kill him?
It's
Jay got it.
Straight up got disintegrated, bro.
I'm not sure who you're referring to.
I like how she thought Ezra was the only sane person in our party, and now
Yeah.
he's awesome.
Suddenly, she's no longer feeling that way.
Ezra does
suddenly
not know who
Bones ain't
King
looking so
Kong
bad
is.
now. Huh.
Ezra does not know who King Kong is, but Skull Island bears a special place in Jake's heart.
So she says Skull Isle is a pretty heavily fortified island in the middle of the harbor. The river comes in, flows around it from the east, and then it veers back southeast. And then also there's the section of the river Sargoth that flows upward into the Sea of Swords. There's a series of locks and channels that, well, they haven't been working in ages. And unfortunately, when you're in the Underdark and there's not a lot of travel or things for a while, dark things move in. So, not exactly the funnest of places.
A problem with the gates that needs to be looked into, or is it just a...
Several. We've had different adventuring groups come in from time to time, and I've heard tales of many attempts in the past. The locks are magical, high magic, from ages past, when the Enclave was still actually a living Enclave. And, well, whatever happened with all of that, the magic in them slowly drained. From what people have told me, granted I don't fully understand it myself, it seems as though it's possible to repair them, but the only thing that really works anymore right now is the crane, and it's on its last legs.
The crane. Also,
JB,
Crane,
you to it.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he did.
There are still some that take very small craft that's longboats or things like that, something that can be carried by a small number of people.
We need to buy a
Or
folding
sometimes-
boat,
Portage it.
guys.
Got it.
Sometimes
Yeah.
they still come down the locks, but there hasn't been a larger vessel that comes down since the time
Just
of
need
troubles.
WD-40 and some JB Weld and have it taken
The
care of.
time of troubles.
Yes.
What is the time of troubles? That's not a reference I've seen in my studies.
That should be a reference you've seen in your studies. Absolutely
Okay,
should be
I-
a reference that you've seen in your studies.
I, Jake, am unaware of what the time of troubles
It's
is.
the time when gods walked the world.
Oh, this is. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
So pre.
Yeah,
I thought this.
Yeah,
I thought
well,
this was
is
like a Xanathar's Guild reckoning or something.
no. This is like this is the catalyzing events to the spell plague, basically.
So they haven't been working since the spell plague.
Yeah, it's been over 100 years since the locks have really worked.
I did not realize we were 100 years past the spell plague at this point.
Well, technically not. The spell plague has been lasted for almost 100 years, but it fluctuates and it's weird timeline lore stuff. The spell plague, as everyone knows it, like the final ending, the lore ending, is maybe only about 25 years, I think. Mistra was only revived maybe 10 years ago, I think. So it's kind of on that tail end. But again, the spell plague began. It's like 1492. The spell plague began in like 1388 or something like that. So it was a long-running series of time. And the time of troubles was basically the time right before that, when gods walked the world. And this is all like the stuff of legends now, right?
So this stuff probably Ezra has.
Yeah, absolutely.
Intimate knowledge of,
yeah,
yeah.
People might not have intimate knowledge of it, but even a commoner, right? Even just a layman, these are the bard's tales that you listen to in taverns, right? Is the stuff of the spell plague and the time of troubles and everything associated with that.
Everyone knows who Odie is. Whether or not they know the intricacies of his voyage,
Sure,
but everyone knows who Odysseus is
sure. Where's
and
my
his
Odysseus?
tap taps.
Why are you sitting there? What are you doing? You're just sitting in the hallway, looking weird.
The epic tale of tap taps.
What's wrong with that? He can't sit in hallways?
Well, it's
Why are
not
you
like
judging
he's
him?
He's got a
laying in
bed.
the hallway. He's literally
need him for
sitting
viewers.
in the hallway.
Yeah,
What's wrong with that, bro?
It's strange.
he's watching. He is a watcher.
Anyways,
likes to watch.
so, anything else, or would you guys like to ship out? What's the plan?
I think we should leave forever.
So I think to consolidate that information that she gave you, basically, Skullport isn't on multiple levels, but it does lead to the Sargoth level, and it does, in theory, you can take the Sargoth River further down into Undermountain, and then there's also the exit, the egress to the Sea of Swords.
So it's not just like we found the one passage. It's not. There are several passages that lead to 4, 5, and 6 or something of that nature.
Yeah. There's not several passages leading down to other locations. Kalal will let you know there are not dozen. There's a half a dozen passes leading out of the city, but they go into crazy, dangerous, weird places. Places that are not a part of this adventure currently, but
So what you're saying is
maybe
there
we
are
side quest
bones
them
that,
for other
that
stuff.
could be harvested.
Who knows?
Maybe a very rare bone for Bones's bonescapades.
My bone
Perhaps.
sculpture.
But that is a side quest for another time.
My bones.
So, what's the plan, Stan?
We go to the... Where is it?
Do you want to get rooms first, or
To the guts and garters for Bones to get himself some tail.
I am not a fan of that name.
I'm trying
The
to get
guts
them
and
give them
garters. Guts and
bro.
garters. Okay. So the guts and garters is actually
I'm
a
not
pretty
actually trying to do that. I'm just
quick
saying I
trip.
can really go hard, too.
So I'm gonna pop you guys on out here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of like navigate you up there. So the guts and garters is northeast of where the flagon and the dragon is, and it is on the ground level of these cities. So you kind of just head up through some of these back alleys, and pretty shortly you find yourself at the guts and garters. So, when you arrive.
Good.
This rundown structure has windows so shrouded in grime as to be almost opaque. The sign out front reads Guts and Farters, but even a cursory inspection shows that the F doesn't quite line up with the rest of the lettering.
Is he frozen?
No? I'm just...
Oh,
He
okay.
is waiting for
Waiting.
action from the party.
Oh, also I gotta fix Jake again. In a moment, though.
What's wrong with Jake?
Nah,
What is wrong
nothing.
with
Just
Jake?
the setup.
What isn't wrong with Jake? Oh, I've got a dragon! I've got a dragon again, boys. That's me. Just look at the dragon.
Well, for whatever reason, I changed
No.
it last time, and it's like, nope, we're gonna change you back.
Let's go back to
Good
the
old
dragon.
Streamlabs.
I appreciate being a dragon.
Okay.
I'm
So,
gonna have to. I'll
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
so as you all arrive outside the
Yeah,
guts
disgusted
and
by the topic
Farters, are you guys heading inside?
Yes.
Suppose so.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and move you guys inside. Inside of the building, the inside of the building is mostly clean, but in the way that a person who doesn't actually care about things being clean cleans. Grime sits in the corners, and cobwebs haunt the hard-to-reach places. The rug before you looks clean enough, until you look at its edge and can see a thin line of dirt from underneath it. As you walk in, right, you kind of notice these things. There are basic amenities around and about. It's not filled with trinkets or baubles, but there's this rug lining it. There's these kind of very dull, uninspired paintings on the walls. And at a desk, at a counter, in the middle of the kind of like open lobby, is a tiefling man who has these very kind of like almost kind of like coffee stain color ruffles, this ruffled shirt up and around his neck, right? And you actually see his right horn is kind of like bent to one side just ever so slightly, and he's wearing a very, very faded red jacket. And he's just kind of like leaning on this countertop, and he has his hands on his temples, and he looks up as you come in, and he goes, "Oh, guest, Joy. And I think that is where we will actually take our break. So, we're going to go ahead and bounce for just a few minutes, take some bio breaks, stretch our legs, and we will be back shortly. See you then. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.